What's up? Oh no.
The tracks. Well, we're still hiking, as you can see, in pitch dark, really. So we're at a place called the Glory Hole.
We're so high.
This is among the best views we have ever seen.
It's our last 4-day weekend of the summer, and we're heading to Okanogan County. Located in the central part of Washington state, Okanogan extends across the US-Canada border. Winthrop is probably the most well-known town, and we do make a pit stop here. But our real goal is to camp and hike 20 miles in the wilderness. We get into all of this and more in this episode.
We opened this episode in a very beautiful place called Washington Pass. Here we go, this is the highest mountain pass of Washington state. We have a really busy weekend planned. It's a 4-day weekend this time because of Labor Day. And it's gonna be a really good one. We're going to a gorgeous place called Okanogan, and we'll show you a lot more over there. We took a turn off the highway at a place called Mazama, which is the beginning of the Meadow Valley.
Here we go, entering the Okanogan Forest. Didn't know it at the time, but we were driving on the most dangerous road in all of Washington state. This is Harts Pass, a narrow road winding through the mountains of the North Cascades. Besides being the most dangerous road, it is also the highest road in the state of Washington that one can drive. We found a spot, the last spot in this campground.
Pretty cool, and we're nice and dirty.
Oh yeah, wow. Yep, that is why we got that.
What's up? Oh no.
Yeah, I want to say that was from whoever was here before.
Yesterday, yeah.
So this should be fine. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I got a little worried there too.
Yeah.
We're like, oh no.
Purchase date on the 3rd and number of days 1, so today the 4th is no longer valid. Alright, we are settled here, parked for the day, and this is where we're settled. Our tent is here with no cover because it's nice and breezy and it won't get that cold tonight. And we have a great picnic table, but the best part of all is over here. So this is lounge, over there is the bedroom, here's the dining room, and there's an actual kitchen over there, but again, we can't have fires at this time. As you can see, actually in this area there's been a big fire already, and it's very dangerous in late summer. At this point we're gonna eat a bit, and then we're going to go hike.
So the last time we did this, we caused a really big explosion and a fire, which is why we've got fire extinguisher this time in case that happens.
Unfortunately, this is the simple stove, not the fancy one we made explode, which does have wind guards, and it is windy here, but we'll have to cope.
These things always terrify me, and even more so because of what happened last time, but they work.
So what's on the menu is some astronaut chicken, space chicken with curry. Cool, we have our meal here. For camping food is quite fine. Alright, it's like 4 o'clock, but we're finally ready to hike, and the light is quite nice.
Starts off with a booty bird.
Yeah, well, just after the hill we climbed, we get to here, where we go down and we see a very gorgeous valley. And over there's a fire lookout on the top. Mexican shootout.
A Mexican a Chinese shootout.
Oh, we need 3 people for a
Chinese
Mexican.
versus American.
3 people we need for a Mexican shootout. What I really like about Okanogan is once you pass the Cascade passes, you end up in this more open land and you get views all the time. Because on the west side of the Cascades, you don't get views until you get really high. But here it's just gorgeous and kind of highlands, rolling hills and whatnot. It's not really alpine as much anymore.
Such stunning open views, and there's like a nice cool breeze.
I like it.
We've been hiking for a bit under an hour and almost 2 miles. It looks like we'll get to a nice lake. And what are your impressions so far?
It's a really pretty hike. It's so nice and quiet, except for the flies sometimes, and really colorful and actually fairly easy. There's some ups and downs, but pretty easy hike.
It's a different type of terrain here. We're used to wet. Out of Seattle, it's actually hard to get to any place that isn't wet. And that's why we like coming here, where it's just drier and more open. We went through a more hidden part, through a little grove, and there are animals there, we hear them, and I saw a little, either a quail or a grouse. We didn't see it up close, and I still hear them rustling. And now we see the first people on this trail at all, so it took 2 miles to run into somebody, which is the coolest thing about Okanogan. You have it to yourself pretty much. Looks like you slept out there. Oh, now you're heading out. I see. Golden hour will happen as we're hiking. And there's also fall color. There's yellow and red from the fall now. We came upon a little creek with the most gorgeous pools forming as it cascades down. Well, it's a complete boulder field now. A little tricky, but not challenging. Just stepping the right way is a bit harder. Well, same story as Utah. The sign is inaccurate. It said 4 miles to the lake. It's been 4.7 and we're not even there.
And also like Utah, this hike started off flat and easy, and then towards the end it's like you get a lot of ups and downs and ups and downs. We came up a giant hill here. Then you got to go back down the hill.
All right, let's eat the power bar and head back.
Yep.
Because it's gonna be a to get back, and it's gonna be dark by the end.
Yep.
Well, change of plan. I guess we didn't learn our lesson in Utah, and we're going to go to the lake because we're so close.
It's warm enough because after the sun goes down, sometimes you worry about it being too cold, but I don't think that would be an issue this time. And if it gets a little dark, that's okay. We got our cell phones. We can do flashlights that way. So I think we'll be okay.
We ran into a whole bunch of little chickens. They're not that little actually.
They're pretty big.
They're very funny. Wow, there's so many. No, fly. They're too young to fly, I think, these little ones here. We're not eating them because we have Cliff Bars. But if it was a matter of life or death, we would be having grouse tonight. All right, we see the lake now. It's only 1.2 miles farther than the sign said. We found the lake, and the price for that is gonna be hiking in the dark, so we better get going. Making our way down now. There's a dog. We're making our way back actually quite well. It's about 3.5 miles left out of altogether 10.4. So we're not doing poorly. The light is almost gone though, so there's gonna be some dusk after the sun is gone now. So the goal is to use the remaining light to get out of this wooded part so we can get into the open part that we started in when it gets really dark, and hopefully we get some moonlight. That way we can have some light to be guided and make the final mile or so. Well, we're still hiking, as you can see, in pitch dark really.
I think we're just about done, which I didn't even know because I couldn't really see, so I didn't know we're already at the end.
We are.
But thank God. Our phones actually did pretty well. It's ideal to have a headlamp, which we both have, but we just didn't bring it with us. So now we know. Leave a headlamp in your hiking bag.
Oh, for real. And yeah, we were flashing forward like this is about all we see.
But this was better than nothing because it would have been really bad with no light at all.
It would have been terrible.
Because right now it is 9:20. It did take us about 2 hours actually from that point.
We're almost hiking till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And here's the proof that we are still in the wilderness. And it's dark as hell. Doesn't my coffee look amazing? Good morning. It's very exciting today because we're hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, and that's no other than the best trail of all, at least in North America, but maybe even in the world. It goes from Canada to Mexico along the Pacific Mountains near the coast, and we're gonna do a segment of it just for a day.
We're here at a trailhead, and right next to the trailhead information we saw a sign which is really interesting about this area. So apparently we have a mountain goat problem where they're too concentrated, so they're relocating the goats by tranquilizing them, blindfolding them, and picking them up via a helicopter and like helicoptering them out to like another location.
I think that's the stupidest thing ever, but
it makes for really entertaining photos. So yeah, just Google that, like goat relocation, Washington State, and the photos are pretty funny.
We started in a little wooded section, and immediately right here it opens up, which is what I'm starting to really love about Okanogan hiking. Already you get to see views, and it smells amazing again.
Someone needs to make like an Okanogan scented something so you could smell this in your house all the time. It smells so good.
Looks like we'll be going through this ridge all the way around there and see what we see on that side. We are now on the big ridge that I pointed at, and look at the view from here. It's the whole valley.
It's so nice. We're also just saying, you know, if you're ever going to do the Pacific Crest Trail, you don't need to do the whole thing. But if you do any part of it, the part that comes through Washington is probably among the most scenic. At least in our opinion.
It's the best.
Yeah.
And look at what we see there, that little notch on the top is
Oh,
the...
yeah, we were just there.
Yeah, we were there yesterday, that's where we hiked down that hill. So now we're on the opposite end. We want to go over there by the snow. We'll see, it's gonna take hours, but we may end up there. So far we've moved for about 1.5 miles. So it's not terrible, but it's stacking up, and this is deceptive. It doesn't come as fast as you think. You think it's closer, but it's not. Wow, here is on full display why they call it the Pacific Crest Trail. All around you, you're eye level with all these mountains. Like a 360 wall. Incredible. We like Europe a lot. We went to the Alps in the Dolomites, which is amazing, and you've been to the Swiss Alps, and it's amazing, but in America we have stuff just as good and much more of it.
It's not as well known, but that's actually a good thing. That means it's less crowded. And you do have to, I guess, you know, in Europe as well, you have to do more of your own research. You don't really have tour groups that bring you up here, but yeah, you can get up here and have it all to yourself, and it's just incredible.
There are a lot of these insects here that rattle a lot like a rattlesnake, if you listen. It's a little scary. We are now very close to the snow peak that we saw in the beginning. It's been about, I don't know, 3.5 miles since then. And I think our trail actually is going to terminate right up against this peak.
I don't know if you can see it with the filter, but I can see like tinges of red and orange and some nice color to that.
We're approaching the final last few feet of our hike. It looks like a stunning view. Oh wow, yes it is. I love it.
Look at this! This is so amazing. We have like panoramic views of this mountain, and it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. We have it all to ourselves too. Nobody else has stopped here.
Yeah, we've seen like 7 groups of people that you see once every half hour or something. It's not a bad thing at all. If you want an exclusive experience, here it's quite nice. Okay, we're almost out of the woods. It's actually not deep woods, but the expression is such. We turned the last turn, that is the big one, and this ridge there takes us right to where we started.
Yep, so the end is in our sights, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty tired actually, so I'm glad that we're just about done.
Yeah, in the end, when you're doing a 10-mile hike, like now 2 days back to back, you really feel it.
It adds up.
Time to rate this cooler. I think it's charitable. Oh, Koreans. Yeah.
Woo! It's right on our YouTube channel.
That's right. Oh yes, a Coca-Cola.
This is very nice. Whoever did this, thank you. This is a really great way to end the hike.
Do you even have the menu over here? And I think they may have fruit in here. Yes!
Oh!
Yeah, you should grab something.
That is really nice.
I don't know who did this.
It might have been that girl with the dog.
Maybe.
Because she was here at the beginning. She was just talking to somebody. What do you want?
Orange.
Apple? Orange? Okay. It's a little tangerine thing.
And this is our outro of the Pacific Crest Trail. Only a tiny portion since it goes from Canada to Mexico, but it's fantastic. Even just this little segment, 5 miles in and back.
Yeah, if you want a proof about how great it is, there are treats at the end. So really, really great trail all around. It's been, I was just saying, I was happy the entire time. You know how when you're doing like a 10-mile trail, a lot of times you hit a low point, and I never really did at this trail. The whole time has been really, really great. Awesome.
Let's enjoy a Coke. Alright, our campsite never looked so inviting, except when you do over 10 miles of hiking, and now it looks like paradise. Oh, there's like some track. There are tracks.
That's hilarious.
There are little chipmunk feet on the solar panel that we left out here to charge.
Total evidence. If it weren't for that, we'd have no idea that they were here. That is so funny.
Caught red-handed.
Back at camp, we warmed up with a quick bite to eat, and then we relaxed for the rest of the afternoon. Just before sunset, we set out for the fire lookout that we had seen the day before. Known as Slate Peak Lookout, this is officially the highest drivable road in the state of Washington, and the views from here are stellar.
We came to an amazing sunset spot.
It's actually, we were over on that side down there last night for sunset, and it was really pretty from down there, but this time on this side we'll actually have more sunlight, so it should be really stunning. And we're gonna go higher, so we should have a really great view from up here.
That's right, it wasn't a crazy drive coming up here on a mountain road, and the parking lot is totally packed right here with many cars, but all around us here is a sea of mountains we'll be videotaping right now.
We're so high.
This is among the best views we have ever seen.
Maybe with the top it goes a little bit higher.
Yeah, we will.
It just shows you the peaks.
You gotta be kidding me.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So we're at a place called the Glory Hole.
The Eureka Lode.
Amazing.
Oh, I can't believe they called it that.
This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. It's at 360 degrees of mountains all around. It's incredible. We came down the mountain this morning after 2 days of hiking, 20 miles, and now we're gonna have a recovery day down here in the town of Winthrop, and we just had some real food.
We had pizza, which is like one of the best things to have after a long day of not having non-dehydrated food. So that was a really great way to start the day. And yeah, it's the traffic is like huge here. This is apparently the tourist hotspot because Winthrop has been the most crowded that we've seen since we've come out here.
And down this way is all Wild West town with the boardwalks and everything, saloons. Winthrop looks like lots of fun, and we'll come enjoy it one more time today, but right now we really need to find a place to sleep. It took us not very long and we found a very nice camping spot. Turns out Winthrop is really good for camping.
So there are quite a few camp spots. Some are official where you have to pay, and others are kind of a free-for-all, so they're free as long as you have a Northwest Forest Pass. But yeah, we managed to find a legitimate campground, just paid for it, just set up our tent, and we have river access. We have like a private beach all to ourselves, so that's a really good deal.
Yeah, let's give you the tour. Here's the vehicle, and here's this whole giant space just for us. And you could fit so many people. We're trying to put the tent where the shade is, but it keeps moving around, so we don't know exactly where is best. Here's the table.
Our picnic table. So this is the nice thing about the designated camping spots. If you go for a free-for-all, you have to bring your own table. You won't get a table. So we have a nice picnic spot. We've got a fire pit that we can't use, unfortunately, but it's here for whenever you can have a fire.
Next time. But this right here is the best part. A little forest.
What is it, sandy?
Yeah, all of a sudden, white sand. Here we go, our own beach. How amazing is that? So yeah, this is the camp spot for tonight. We're quite impressed with Winthrop area camping. There are many camps here, and this one is quality. There are some other ones that were full and many ones we haven't seen, so we'll be coming back here. And right now, we really want to cool off, and we're going to a big lake, and we're going to chill out and float over there.
But we are in the middle of the lake with our tubes and our buckleberry sodas.
Mine is at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, his dropped. Having a bit of a sailing experience where the wind is just pushing us forward, or backwards, I guess. So, enjoy the ride.
It's nice, we don't have to do work until later when we have to cross the whole lake.
Shouldn't be too bad.
I think we'll be totally fine.
This wind has been so strong and just consistent. We tried paddling, but really it was just useless. It just wasn't even working. So, luckily there's another beach or an entrance point towards the bottom of the lake. So I thought of that and I was like, I'm just gonna let the wind or current kind of push me down. And so I got out on this side. Martin got a little caught in the weeds. So he's gonna go get his floaty, which he left there. It actually has the car key attached to it. So, but of all people, I know that he'll find a way out of it. So the plan is for him to retrieve the car, come pick me up, because I'm at a place where a car can actually stop. And hopefully we get out of it that way. Alright. Salvation. Bit of a hassle, but we made it. At least we weren't remote. Like if we had been completely stranded and not able to get back, that would have been bad. But we were near civilization, which was helpful.
Yeah, this was still a bit out of control, which I don't like. It got me a bit wounded actually to get out of this situation, so it's not the best one to put ourselves into, but we did okay. We got out, so that's what counts.
After that ordeal, we really wanted to treat ourselves to dinner, so we headed 1,000 feet above Winthrop to Sun Mountain Lodge. Spanning 3,000 acres, this lodge offers overnight accommodations, miles of hiking and cross-country paths, and a farm-to-table restaurant.
Alright, we got the goods, it smells good, and now we will drive to our camp because it's really windy and late. Bugs. So we have our dinner in the campsite. It got a bit dark, but we have a lantern. And this is chimichurri steak, and there's a pork dish as well. And salad and bread and butter, and it's like pretty lavish.
Who says you can't be gourmet when you're camping? Or glamping at this point, but hey, we'll take it. I don't mind, it's good food. Nice warm food that should taste amazing, so really excited for this. The next morning, we woke up bright and early and packed up our camp.
Here's our cleaned out camp spot. Left it as we found it, as we always should.
But before we departed, we had to see the river one last time.
a huge fish came. We're trying to get the right lens on to film it. Very cool. We saw a big salmon in the pure river.
It's got a nice environment here.
Yeah.
A little tricky, it gets rocky, so it does have to be, must be a salmon.
All right, after the salmon experience, it's time to go and get into our Jeep and roll. Back in Winthrop looking for a breakfast, so we're gonna go to the busiest place from yesterday since now the crowds are gone. Homemade pies and pastries. So will be it for Winthrop. After this I'll get a coffee and we're on our way out. I recommend not coming here on a holiday weekend because there are lines everywhere. For example, I wanted to enjoy a slower pace and get a whiskey in the bar and things like that, but it's just lines and lines and crowds. So if you do that on any other weekend but a holiday, you can do that here very calmly.
We came previously in May, which was a great time. There was it wasn't very busy, and it's also really nice.
Yeah.
It's also green, not yellow, so it's a little bit colder.
Yeah, but what we discovered this time is that if you go into the forest right north of Winthrop, it's still green even in the summer, and it's really pleasant in there. And yeah, the forest, the actual Okanogan forest north of here is gorgeous.